Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Shobo. Today is Friday, July 2nd, 2021. Oh boy, it's a holiday weekend for the United States. I'm sure plenty of people are taking off both Friday and Monday this year. Fortunately, today, well, I say fortunately today my mother is not going out to physically work at the university. She's using today as a remote work day, quote unquote. And this had been pre-planned. And as it turns out today, it is downpouring rain and thunderstorming this morning. Right when she would normally be on the road to go to work. So yeah, it's fortunate in a sense. And it just happens to be a very, very dark and rainy and stormy day. A perfect day to get the deliveries that I've been waiting for of my reorder of the computer parts that I've been waiting on. So, the original order of the computer parts still is not any updates. They're still MIA at the moment. There's been zero tracking updates on that front. I will keep you posted if anything changes. We shall see if anything changes with that. But the motherboard, the new motherboard is out by UPS, and that one is out for delivery right now. It's been apparently scanned as out for delivery 3 times at this point, so we shall see when that will end up arriving today. As for the CPU and motherboard package, that one is sent by Amazon Logistics, and that is not currently out for delivery, but the Amazon Logistics delivery service for my area doesn't usually go out for delivery until like the 10:30-ish time frame. 10, 11 o'clock. They actually start their rounds a bit later than the other services. For whatever reason, they start later, they last later into the evening on their delivery routes, so we'll see when exactly I get both of these packages, because I sort of need to have both of them before I can commit to actually going in and doing work on my computer. So what else is there to really talk about today before we begin the actual gameplay for Dyson Sphere Program? Guess yesterday I sort of played around a little bit on the piano on stream after my break in the Factorio playthrough that day. So after the halfway point, I played the piano a little bit, and a discussion I had was that, you know, the way my brain is functioning is that I'm starting off by replicating by ear songs that enter into my mind. Specifically at the start of this learning process, it's Christmas songs. And it started off, I didn't actually mention this yesterday, the very first things was as I was doing like the C major scale, going up and down the C major scale, started off with, God, I don't even remember the names of the songs, but it's, when you're doing that, my brain made a connection to that, which is a Christmas song. And then if you go the whole scale up, well, on the way back down, you've got from here, Joy to the World. And that's just a connection my brain made just by going up C, and then it leaps from there to then D, going into D minor. That leapt into God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, and from there it went from that to actually the start of Bloody Tears, which was, if I can even play it still. Which, as I played there, is easy enough with one hand. I made the, I don't know. I don't know if I consider it an error, but I actually looked up Bloody Tears, the Castlevania song. Castlevania 2, I think, is where it originated, but the Castlevania game series has a well-known song, Bloody Tears, and that's, generally speaking, how it starts. That's as played in D minor. A lot of the sheet music I've seen has it in other keys, is how I can put that. It's like, okay, like I've seen it in G minor, I've seen it, at least starting in G minor, I've seen it in freaking whatever, 5 sharps as well. I've seen it in so many different keys. And I was like, oh, okay. But in particular, the one constant thing is that it's not as simple as... It's not as simple as that, because it's actually alternating with another note, like down here, or something like that. So it's like going... It's like doing this other note in between each of those other notes, and it's with the same hand. And that's what I'm finding extremely frustrating right now, is like, that is really hard to replicate, considering these things are like 16th notes at that point. It obviously, when people are trying to write this stuff for piano, because this is a song that is for many instruments with Bloody Tears, and it was inherently not done live, it's done through a program, through a sound chip. You can do things when you're writing music for sound chips that you can't physically replicate. And I'm getting to that thought process. Well, there's probably a lot of video game music that a lot of people know who won't really be able to ever play by themselves on a single instrument because they're too complex for that. They're designed for multiple instruments. If you try to combine multiple instruments into one, it's going to be physically impossible to play them. And I'm sort of getting that here. It's like the level of speed with the hands is nowhere near where I'm capable of, at least. And I find it hard to believe anyone would be able to play the more complex sheet music that sort of combines all of the instrumentation of that song together into one piano score. It's just there's too much to do with both hands, because it's requiring both hands, and it's requiring the one hand to do these really awkward series of notes in the beginning of it. It's not even really technically the beginning of it, but regardless, that's just a slight continuation of what I was talking about yesterday. It's like you have to play the whole sequence of that melody with 4 fingers and then use the 5th one to go back to that one note in between each of the other notes as you try to play. As you try to play that, in between each and every single one of those notes is this other lower note that's like somewhere down here. And that's incredibly difficult, depending on what key you're playing in, especially. It's like, oh my gosh, and imagine playing in a key where you also have to hit flats. Like, oh my goodness. So that's a challenge that'll be a bit beyond me for a while. So I'm gonna keep it simple. Anyway, let's play the game. Let's play some Dyson Sphere Program today. Oh boy. So after all that, I am on the Dusty Rock at the start of today. I did a few things off screen. What were those few things that I have done off screen? Well, I'm standing in front of a build that's making magnets, so obviously I've tapped into some iron and I'm providing magnets onto my network right now. Some time has passed as well, and I am now capable of seeing all of the stars, the actual stuff in the star systems within 6 light years. They don't give you the number breakdowns until you actually go there, but you can see what resources are there, the actual categories. So I've looked at the stuff that's within 6 light years. There's really not that many. And I've pinned to always be shown these 4 around me, because we've got Satatoni here that has kimberlite, organic crystals, optical grading crystals, and spiniform stalagmite crystals. So we've got the direct organic crystals, direct diamonds, we've got a fire ice planet here that is not a gas giant, and we've got the rare resources to help make the Casimir crystals, and we've got the resource, this one I believe is for the tubes, right? For the carbon nanotubes. So that's a bunch of stuff right there. Now, Iota Sculptoris, this one has sulfuric acid ocean. I am very happy that at the max range of my ability to see the resources right now, I managed to find that a system that had a sulfuric acid ocean planet in it. There's also more spiniform stalagmite crystals and organic crystals here, and fire ice. So a bit of a overlap there. Alpha Buddhis, booties. This one's got just, fractal silicon too, and a whole bunch of other good stuff. A whole bunch of resources, and again, a whole bunch of resources at Azamak here. So yeah, the others don't really have as many interesting things. They usually have only one, if any, of the ones that I can see, 1 or 2 at most. So that's why I didn't really pin them. They're not exactly the places I want to go. So most of the stars within the range that I can see have useful stuff. Now, of course, my grand scheme is that I want to go all the way out to Alberio, and I'll rename these as we go and colonize them to my supporters on Patreon and members of the YouTube channel. I will rename these over time as we go and start exploiting these areas. This is going to be the one that I really built the Dyson Sphere around, because that just makes sense to me. Yeah, because it's got a luminosity 2.477. That's a multiplier to the amount of power that the Dyson Sphere produces, and it is, I think, the most luminous of any of the stars that are in my current cluster. So that just makes sense to me. Now, if you're going for a high score, quote-unquote, on the quote-unquote leaderboard, aka the Milky Way, for a given seed in the game, Well, you're gonna have to make a Dyson Sphere around pretty much every single one at this point, I think. I'm sure there are people who are constantly working on their seeds, trying to produce more and more power, because that's sort of that's the score, quote unquote, is how much power you produce. Oh yeah, I also continued to scale up my production of the foundation, and I decided to have a lot of it get stored at any one time, so I always have plenty around me. Are you not producing enough? Huh. Really? I didn't know that. I did not realize. But anyway, it's about 20 per second now of the foundation being crafted. And with that, I also took the opportunity to start painting this planet with the foundation. I have a lot of soil now as a result stored up, so I don't have to worry as much about that. And you may notice I have a bit of solar power now on this planet. I have run around the equator. The equatorial line is right between this. It's not fully complete. There's a little bit of a gap here, but that's okay. And I also added some accumulators to act as batteries for this system. Now, it does, even though half the planet and half the solar panels are being used at any one time, it's producing way more than enough power to power this planet right now. Anyway, I'm going to go back to the homeworld because I need to restock on my fuel and talk a little bit about what's been going on the homeworld in terms of scaling. I mean, not really all that much. It's more so that I've been providing certain resources onto my network. Also, I can go 2,000 meters per second now, making this travel within the system pretty easy. Pretty easy at this point. I did provide the hydrogen fuel rods on my network now. Yeah, I have it in an Interstellar logistics station, getting sent to an Interstellar logistics station, so I can request them at other planets if I need them for any reason. Now, if I could just find where I have them. Also, you don't have any satellite substations right now. Interesting. 773. That's a few. It's likely due to the supermagnetic rings production. That's right. So anything that uses supermagnetic rings is going to not get produced when I'm making additional conveyor belts. Mark III. Those are always going to take precedence. I need an interstellar station to import. Okay, you're providing the fuel rods. I need to import magnets just to make sure that I have enough. Oh yeah, I have deuterium coming in here now. How many... Okay, I have another one of you sitting around. You know what? Don't bring any more of these to me until you've chewed through that backlog. Oh yeah, this is just for additional power here on this planet, giving me a whole line of hydrogen fuel power. Okay. I have had time pass, and a lot of technologies are now available, including gravitational wave refraction. Now, in order to get up to the green circuits, I'm going to need to unlock Casimir crystals, wave function interference for the plane filters, the quantum chips, and then gravity matrix to have the better ability, the best ability to get space warpers. But as long as I can get graviton lenses, I can make warpers right now. And since I won't really have much of a use for graviton lenses until I can make the green cubes, essentially all of them can go into space warpers at the location, ideally, where I will eventually make the green science cubes. Now, these are merely diamonds and strange matter. Strange matter is gonna be the pink boxes plus deuterium plus iron ingots in particle colliders. So I will need particle colliders for this, and ideally I will automate the production of particle colliders, but they use the stupid blue supermagnetic rings, don't they? Yes, they do. They use a lot, and they use a lot of power. They use 12 megawatts of power each. Oh boy, and this, of course, is going to need the frame materials. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I am making frame materials for something. There was a thing that I'm making. The substations? Yes, the substations. This particle collider uses very similar stuff to the substations, so that's where I'm going to go, to make these, is that area where I have the substations getting made, ideally, if I can ever find it among the mess. Also, please, Phil, thank you kindly. Okay, it was down this way, those 3 towers. Now, please tell me that among these 3 towers that I have all of the things I need. Yes. Yes, I do. I have declared that yes, I absolutely have all of the things that I need for all of the things. All of the things for all of the things, yes. How very, very specific of me. I will put this, I don't even know where. I need to bring something or other, right? Alright, you're making those. I need, what's coming in here? Those, right. So I'm gonna need those. I'm gonna need, that's just silicon. I'm gonna need these. These also need the titanium alloy, so the titanium alloy, needs to be brought to this. Okay, there's your frame materials. Alloy, graphene, and processors. Well, graphene is here. I'm gonna need to make a splitter. Place a splitter, excuse me. That's already 2, okay. Only 2, I should say. CPUs. I'll bring these down over here. And that just leaves the alloys, which, Humma. Here's what I'll do. I will reroute this. Oddly enough, that still links and it still works. Excuse me? Collides. Oh. So you're saying I need to go back one, right? Yes, that's exactly what you're saying. Input there, and then the output. There you go. Get that Insetta out, give power, and that shall be that. I will officially have miniature particle colliders. Unfortunately, I don't actually have the ability to store those in here. So I'll just get rid of all that. Do you have a spare? Do you have spares? Yes, you have spares. Am I gonna send this all the way there? I should, shouldn't I? Alright, you're gonna go out this direction. And then out that way. There you go. Miniature particle collider. The miniature version. I can only imagine. I can only imagine what the full-sized version would look like. If this is the miniature. Alright. Only waiting on rings. And we are getting a steady supply, but only because the other locations that are demanding them. Remember, I brought that slider down on the other building that's making like the orbital collectors and all of that. It's only because I reduced that down and it doesn't have to send any more there that it's now prioritizing this one. And that's great. That is fantastic. I'm going to limit that to 200. I'm going to steal all 10 of these for my own personal purposes. I should note that these substations do consume power as well. They use 720 kilowatts of power just for existing, and that's each one of them. So do be mindful. As useful as substations can be, they do consume a lot of power. They consume more power than a Mark II assembling machine. So you need to keep that in mind. Also, the wireless power tower will consume 90 kilowatts of power just for existing. And it charges you at 4.8 megawatts each, for as many as you can be within. It will charge you off of the grid. Yeah, just things to keep in mind here. Things that should be kept in the back of your mind, or the forefront. Don't do as Nilaus does if you don't have the power to back it up, right? Because I know how he plays. He puts down a gigantic, elegantly looking array of substations around an entire planet, makes it look like a giant pincushion. Just the moment he gets access to them, arrays them out in a very evenly spaced way across the entire planet, and just coats the entire planet with them. And it's like, yeah! Only do that if you have the power to back it up, please. Because they use power. They use 720 kilowatts each. Hello, Ave. Welcome. Welcome. So there's an order to operations. Don't just, I'm saying don't mindlessly just mimic someone unless you absolutely are certain that you know the reasoning behind some of these things and you know the work involved behind what folks are doing. Don't just copy wholesale what folks do and how they build. Yes, please charge me. Yes, you charge me as I move. All right. I have a particle collider. A singular miniature particle collider. With this, we can do everything. We can make our dreams come true. I hope. Where did it go? There. Okay. Strange matter. Oh, this'll be glorious. These buildings are big. They consume lots of energy. And my goodness, we've got to have a lot of them. We'll need at least 10. I only produce about 60 some odd megawatts extra in my base. So this will be fun, quote unquote. Fortunately, I have a supply of deuterium, and I can just bring all 3 of these things in with a regular planetary logistics station. I'll, of course, need to provide it through another logistics station, so I can get away with 1 Interstellar in the end. I'll plop you there. Oh yeah, Nilaus will also go through on a planet and put down all of the interstellar logistics stations in this neat little array without even really thinking about what the hell am I going to use them for? Does it even make sense that these are this way? Like, what are you going to use them for? How are you going to route the belts to those things? Right? How are you going to do this? Are you going to arbitrarily limit yourself to the amount of space that any particular factory uses? The answer is yes. Things that don't get spoken that need to be stated with the design decisions. It's like, yeah, okay, it looks nice. And? Does it have a purpose? Other than looking nice, is it actually a good way to build? Ahem. Anyway. Let's see. What do I need? I need stuff. Obviously, I need stuff. I need to move this thing a little bit further away, so I have room for belts. Cough, cough. Okay, let's have a look-see. I need the purple doohickeys. These guys. I need the iron, and I need the deuterium. This is demand, storage. Store. Go ahead and take those. I don't really care. In an ideal world, we'd build in a way that both looks nice and has function, but what I had seen, I haven't really watched Neil House in a while, but what I've seen that sort of was annoying me over time when I originally did watch was there's just exuding arrogance, but regardless, you can look past that a bit. But also, he builds more towards the aesthetics. As much as he wants to be efficient, it's always going to be aesthetics over efficiency, over even usefulness sometimes, and there seems like there's a lot of waste in how he builds. That's just what I had seen over time, and I was like, I question also your personality, so you know what, I think I'm just done with you. It got to that point with me, and so I just don't really watch him anymore. Still subscribed, just and occasionally I'm like, should I go and watch some of his stuff again? And then I see a video that pops up like, the way to expand to another planet, and I'm like, no. Like, this is the way, the only way one must expand to another planet. Like, no. The only correct way to expand to another planet is my way. And you shall only do this my way, because my way is the correct way. And that's Neilhouse's attitude. Okay? And this is why I don't watch him anymore. It's as if he quite literally takes the concept of his Order of the Holy Path actually seriously. I should not have placed that on the furthest lane. It's fine, because that's every 8 seconds anyway. Oh, that's there. Okay. Let's see. You're setting up rails in Angels? Yeah, it takes a little while. It's a bit of setup. What is the first thing I automate in Angels and Bobs once I have all the metals up and running? Well, I mean, generally the thing I have, like, the purpose of setting up the metals is to feed the mall. Right? So, like, that's the initial purpose of setting up all of the metals on the train network, is to feed a mall out off of the train network. So, realistically speaking, the first things that I'm trying to get are robots. I'm trying to get robots, and all the things I need to get robots, like actual Bob's robots, not just the Angel crawler bots, but the actual Bob's real robots. Those are what to work towards as you're getting the metals online and on the network. Batteries as well required. So all of that stuff. And that's for Factorio, Angels, Bob's stuffs. This is making strangest of strange matter. I now have greater than 0 strange matter. It's glorious. Huzzah. Stuff. And my power has died. As expected. It's because I clicked this and made it 60, so now my power's okay again. And then from that point, it's push blue science, the stuff for the blue science, push mark level upgrade stuff whenever you can. Push after Blue Science, start pushing for those upgraded robots and just the whole next Mark level stuff, right? And then it's push for the pink and purple and yellow sciences after that. It really doesn't matter what order you do those in, but you're pushing towards the efficiency increases for the metals at Blue Science. For the most part, you're getting into new alloys, you're getting into new individual ore sorting recipes at Blue Science. You're getting the titanium online, the cobalt online for the cobalt steel. You're getting the gold online, and all of that is coming online at that point. And modules, I hesitate to try to go for the modules in an Angels Bob's playthrough when you first get the first levels of modules. I'm hesitant. It's because it's a lot of work. You'll have to do it anyway to get into modules for the late game modules anyway, but I don't see as much of a reason to split up making small, medium, and large biters over time. I would just do all of it together when you get access to the higher end modules. But really, it's up to you and when you want to get a level of productivity going and speed or entity reduction strats. Anyway, Dyson Sphere Program. This is the game that is currently being played. I need to make the graviton lenses, which are done in here. Yes. These merely convert diamonds and strange matter into graviton lenses, and then it's another one to make the warpers. Right? Yes. Warpers directly out of graviton lenses. What's the ratio here? You get every 10 seconds, but this one produces every 6. Oh god, that's a lot of stuff. This makes how much per second? 1/8 of 1. Okay. Sure. That's slower than this processes, but 1/8 of 1 is still faster than this could process. So, if I just go for the one every 10 seconds, it'll be fine. Oh yeah, when you look at modules now in Angels and Bob's, you will faint initially. Like go back and watch my Space Angels playthrough, seriously, because yeah, modules require all of that work. It's a bit of work. Just a small amount of effort is involved. Just a tad to make the modules. It's obnoxious, actually. You have to go through the whole process of farming, setting up the puffer nests, and setting up the after the puffer nests, setting up the biters for the crystals and the crystal shards that they have. Bob's Modules is a separate thing, but it gets modified by Angel's bioprocessing. So if you're running Angel's bioprocessing, it makes it very, very, very difficult to get the Bob's Modules. I'll do this here. I have declared and decided. I need you. Demand. Storage. I need you. Demand. Storage. I need those. They are going to be supplying these. And you can blame King Arthur for that, by the way. King Arthur has his hands all over that. He's never spoken about it, but yeah, I blame King. King did a lot of work with Angel's bioprocessing. It's very obvious if you've played Pi, Alien Life in particular, right? You can look at some of the stuff involved with the most up-to-date versions of Angel's bioprocessing, and you can just see King's hands in all of it. A lot of very similar design philosophies, just like lighter versions of it. Oh, that's yeah, you down, thanks. So I need, 2 buildings, as long as I can connect these. Yes, I can. You're making those. You're making those. I will need diamond. I will need 4 diamonds every 6-ish seconds. So that's done in smelters. Hey, did you notice that Kimberlite makes 2 diamonds now? Because I notice that's a patch note, actually, for relatively recently. Dyson Sphere Program, the developers did update a number of the rare resources to be more useful. And I remember from the first playthrough of this, my first season of this, that I did not like the Kimberlite / diamonds because Kimberlite was a 1-to-1. So was energetic graphite. So you saved very little energy, and that was it, by using Kimberlite for diamonds versus energetic graphite for diamonds. Now you save significantly more effort in this, because instead of going coal, graphite, diamond versus Kimberlite diamond, now it's Kimberlite 2 diamonds. Yes, it was just 1 previously. Speaking of which, this makes 1 every 2 seconds. So it makes 1/2 of 1 per second. This needs slightly more than 1/2 of 1 per second. Why do these have to be like 2x2s versus 3x3s? Okay, that'll work. In diamond. So that's the diamonds. Strange matter will come out there. And I'll shove these over that way. Power. And graviton lenses. Yay. And warpers. Huzzah! We have an existent amount of warpers. They exist at this point. However, even though they exist at this point, this storage is not going to go up. Why is this storage not going to go up? Because there is an internal storage for warpers. It used to be displayed. Why is it not being displayed? Huh? There's an internal buffer. What happened to the icon? Do I just not have the tech? Oh. You need to have the tech for the vessels to warp. Then it will show the internal thingy. That's weird that that exists before you take the tech, but there's an internal buffer of warpers that each of these interstellar stations will carry before it will provide the thing. You're starting your first Angels and Bob's playthrough. Any tips? Well, at the start, it's simply try to not use the actual sorting recipes too early. Try to avoid the recipes that give you the iron ore and the copper ore when you are in the like stone and steel smelter phase, like the stone smelter phase. Don't do that, because when you do that, you don't get as much of the individual metal type as you get by just smelting a crushed ore. So crushed sapphirite will produce more iron plates than sorting crushed sapphirite into iron and copper ore, as an example. And when you sort the crushed sapphirite into iron and copper, you need to make sure that you always consume both of them to keep them moving. You never want to depend upon that system constantly operating, constantly demanding both of those things in the exact ratio that they're being produced. So I always focus on processes that have one metal output at any given time. Just one straight output in the process for as much as I can. The one exception is potentially getting glass for making greenhouses, if you're using Bob's greenhouses. That is the one exception. Do the bobmonium sorting for tin and silicon ore to get glass, n amount of glass to make n amount of Bob's greenhouses, so you can set wood production up. Once you're able to set wood production up, it's been massively delayed, but whatever. And then once you get n amount for n amount of greenhouses, go back to just smelting bobmonium into tin. Once you get into the ability to get steel, once you get into the ability to make the Angels smelting buildings, the blast furnaces, the induction furnaces, the casting machines, that's when you want to start working with metal ores. And generally speaking, I always would recommend go with the individual ore sorting recipes. Take the time to get the mineral catalysts to do individual ore sorting recipes. Could I repeat the past phrase? Which phrase? I don't know how much of a delay there is. Once you get enough glass for an amount of greenhouses. Once you have a few greenhouses and you don't really have to worry about making any more, just go back to smelting the crushed bobmonium at that point, because you will want the tin for the green. You want the tin for the yellow belts, in particular, the yellow logistics belts, and you'll want as much of the tin as possible, and the crushed bobmonium smelting is going to give you more tin overall than doing the sorting into tin and silicon. And if you don't need an infinite supply of glass at that point of the game, the only reason you would need glass at that point of the game is to make greenhouses through Bob's greenhouses. I forget the timing on silver, actually. I don't remember silver being necessary before you can do the individual ore sorting recipe for it. Not in a base Angels Bob's game, anyway, unless they changed it. Do note that the most recent version of Angels I don't have as much experience with because I haven't played the very up-to-date versions of it. They may have modified things significantly and changed the balance a bit on it. The version I'm playing for the C Block series is based on a previous version. You're saying for blue chips? Blue? But, alright, well, A, silver uses crystal catalysts. It uses crystal catalysts for silver on the ore sorting process, for the individual ore sorting process. It doesn't use the sludge. That's step one. Silver for blue science. I don't remember that being a thing. I don't remember silver for blue science. Yeah, I don't remember silver for blue science as part of standard. Anyway, my brain is probably a little off because lots of changes get made with C Block, and my brain is in C Block mode right now. I see, they made transistors need silver wire. Silver wire is new. If you're saying that there is a silver wire, then silver wire is new to the game, to Angels, and I have not played with silver wire previously. That is a brand new recent change. Probably to force you to do the individual, to do the mixed sorting for silver. And they might have, I think they also, in the process, may have changed some of the mixed sorting recipes. You should check the silver ore sorting recipes. See which one's, like, okay. Meow. Meow. Hi. Has Dolly had a breakfast? The baby here. She came and meowed at me. She came and meowed at me. I would try to find the ore sorting for silver that gives you ore types that are also used in those chips. And then process all of the ore outputs of that sorting recipe into plates where you're making the chips, the blue circuits. Or the science, excuse me, where you're making the blue science. Look up all of the ores that are used in blue science, all of the metals used in blue science, and try to find a sorting recipe that gives you silver that uses those ore types. Ideally, there will be one that uses all of those ore types, and it will use enough of them at proper ratios that you can drain all of the outputs into science. it'll be a more complex build so that you can make use of all of them prioritized over what you're producing in the rest of the base. This is only okay for science, because science gets essentially voided as it is technology, as you're spending it on technology, right? So that's basically a type of voiding in this case. And it's very similar to how C-Block is doing things right now. On its sciences. So, yeah, there's that. Speaking of Dyson Sphere Program, sciences also are a way of essentially voiding materials, getting rid of materials, for as long as there are sciences to consume them. And there will always be sciences to consume them because there are techs that are infinite in this game. So if we really want to have a way of dealing with things like excess hydrogen, I could throw it into the red matrix cubes, assuming that I have the production to back it up of all the other sciences involved in processing technologies. Yeah, and then after you get the single output recipe for the silver, you definitely go to that instead, and you can simplify the blue science process after that. Alright. I should have warpers. I had better have warpers. Where did I even go? I was busy talking about other stuff for a while there. What the heck happened? I don't even know. I've forgotten. Where was I? It was that one. Hello there. You're producing strange matter. Where's the... Where's the one making my warpers, man? Alright, it was an Interstellar station, so I know that I'm looking for an Interstellar powered station. Also, I probably have a few more. Yeah, I have 3! Oh, it's you. Hi, I have 32. I have 13. I can now warp 20 times. Great. I have no reason to go out to these other planets right now. I mean, sure, or to these other star systems at the moment, although I could fly to those other star systems. The reason why I don't have a point to do that is, well, I would have to manually take things back and forth between those stars. The whole idea is to get stuff in an automated way shipped back and forth between the planets. And, yeah, I'm going to need a few more warpers than what I'm currently producing, so scaling is on the agenda. Absolutely on the agenda, considering that we're going to need enough space warpers for all of my logistics vessels to operate, to do their little warps back and forth. You need one for each warp, essentially, so they end up stealing 2 each time when they go back and forth for logistics requests and supplies. And I need enough warpers to ship warpers to the other planets, to the other star systems. And I need enough fuel to produce power in those other systems. I need to do that, make power in those other systems. Now, I could try to set up planets ahead of time, bring infrastructure with me, and to go out and start somewhat setting things up in preparation. But I have to get through this technology here, unfortunately, before I can do interstellar stuff. That's going to need 6, 8. Wow. That's going to take a little while. What's this? What's this? Is this a message saying my stuff is on the way? No, it's just a refund issue. It's just a notification saying that I have received a refund. Yes, I know that I have received a refund. My computer components are on their way, but the original order was refunded because they never arrived, and there's still no update to the original shipping information on them. However, one of the orders, one of the packages, the items need to be sent back. The other package does not, for whatever reason. So one package needs to be returned if it arrives. Key phrase there, if it arrives. And the other one, if it arrives, I can keep. Now, my only slight confusion there is, well, what if it never, ever, 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 ever arrives and it's just gone forever? What happens then? Because you've marked my account now as having to send these things back. And you've given me the ability to print some return labels. What happens a few weeks from now if it doesn't actually ever arrive? Are you going to say that I never returned it and charge me again for an item I never received in the first place? That's my only concern right now. Is the potential that they might renege on the return, on the refund, saying that I never returned the products as part of an automated countdown, basically, that doesn't take into consideration that I've not actually received the items in that period of time. That's my only concern, is some automated system screwing up, potentially. Anyway. Yeah, so we need these 3. My science is, granted, a little slow. I fully understand and comprehend that my science progress is slow, but to that I will respond that I have ways of dealing with this, because right now it's actually being limited by my blue science, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's being limited by the blue. The blue is limited by the iron, meaning I get to do iron now. I get to bring more iron in. Blah. 3. F3. So one thing that I did off screen that hasn't popped up yet, but has popped up now, is that I have put down a station here, somewhere over here, and I am importing iron ingots. In fact, rather than local supply, I might make... gosh, that's a little... It's a little iffy to have it as a local supply here out of this one, when I sort of want to make sure that this is always full. I might shove it into another thing and make it a local supply. Make this a local... Oh god, that would... No. Just no. Last thing I want is for it to go like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth in a big loop. Yeah. Well, anyway. This is going to be on my main bus now. I needed to bring this in, and I'm providing the vast majority of it into the mall line. you know, just casually, oh hey, it's my mall. It's the quarter of the planet width of mall. Just a big long line. And I'm gonna shove that in there. What's that gonna do? It's gonna make sure that I have enough iron so that this guy is operating at maximum speed and is able to feed that blue science, making sure that I'm not bottlenecked by that in particular, because that's really sad to be bottlenecked by the first science in the game. That is the last thing I would like to be bottlenecked by. I need more doohickeys. The Tower of Science! You know what I find hilarious about these Towers of Science? Is that the sphere is like, we think of these planets as relatively large, but it's actually so small that you can actually see how the tops of these Matrix Lab towers are greater distance from each other than the base. That they're like V's, because their quote-unquote flat surface is not actually flat. You're on a sphere, and you're going up from a sphere. So it's forming this V at the top. That's what I find hilarious, is that you've got this bigger gap, and you can see how just the curvature of the planet has caused this gap up at the top. Like, yeah, that is exactly how that works, actually. And theoretically, that's actually how that would work in the real world. It's just that our planet is so large that it's insignificant. It's not something you would ever see if you have, like, one tower on one side of the street, another tower on the other side of the street, skyscraper. Technically, that's an effect that would still happen, but also bear in mind that we sort of do truly flatten out surface for foundations on these things, so it's not really that big an effect fundamentally. And then the curve of the Earth is so it's so big that you'll never notice that this effect is happening. It's just so small that it's insignificant. You would need a very, 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 very tall pair of towers, is what I'm saying, before the effect is noticeable, let alone have any relevance. So, I also had looked at the wiki for this game a little bit regarding the ray receivers. And, yeah, those are mechanics that those things have. They definitely have some mechanics associated with them. There is math involved. Involving normals to, like, lines. Vectors. There's vector math involved with those ray receivers to the Dyson Sphere. And let's just say that, for whatever reason, when you make a Dyson Sphere, you want to make sure that you have a layer of maximum orbit radius. It doesn't matter if you use this layer of maximum orbit radius. You just have to have it. Because that will affect the ray receivers by increasing their strength. For whatever reason. It's just the formula that it's using is influenced by, of all things, this. Just having this. Just having a shell planned in the planner of maximum radius will make your ray receivers better. Even if you're not building anything in this shell, just its very existence of a plan for a shell here makes your ray receivers better. Yeah, that's a thing. That is a thing. I'm not kidding. That is exactly what the wiki has on the topic of ray receivers. It also presents the formula. I don't know off the top of my head the formula or any of that. Anyway. Yeah, it's something, alright. That'll hopefully get changed at some point, but we shall see. It's a neat little exploit, shall we say, to make the ray receivers better. Yes. It's like, what? Yes, what? But again, early access. Shall we make the early access argument? Oh, and yes, of course, with the Dyson Sphere itself, layers do not occlude each other. So, you can totally build an entire shell, make a new orbit, and then build an entirely new shell. And it will keep adding energy. And the total energy of a Dyson Sphere is based on how many individual, like, little pieces there are in it. Like, the individual solar sail, permanent solar cells is what I'll call them. It's based on the total number of individual solar sails in your Dyson Sphere. Each one will produce a set amount of energy based off of the luminosity of the star. Regardless of how many of you have, regardless of the position around the star, regardless of any occlusion, it'll just make more power with more stuff. It'll just do the thing. Yes, and the nodes provide output as well, but that's, yeah, a given. Anyway, what can I do now? We've been talking. I don't know what to do next, to be completely honest, outside of exploring the galaxy, because we're waiting for this tech to happen, and for whatever reason, this looks like it died. What? Science? What happened? Where is it? Where is it? This way. This is the way to San Jose. Science? Oh, you know, it would help if the recipes were set here, right? God, I hate that. Can I just point out how much I hate the fact that if you manually place an upgraded assembling machine on top of an assembling machine, that it clears the recipe on the assembling machine? Because that's exactly what happened. Is I took an upgraded assembling machine in my pointer and I placed it over a lower quality assembling machine and replaced it. It did not keep the recipe assigned. It's really dumb that it doesn't do that. I'm trained for that to happen from Factorio. Yes, in Factorio, you place an upgraded version of a building on top of a previous version of a building, and it keeps the recipe that that's been assigned. And you can downgrade, and it's still the same. You just walk over a series of stuff, holding a different building. As long as it's the same type of building, it'll replace the thing that's there and keep all the recipes assigned. You don't have to worry about it. Here, it doesn't keep the recipes assigned. Yeah, when you put a new machine over an existing one. What I know that you're supposed to do here, the way that you can do this without losing the recipe, is you use this upgrade facilities tool. They want you to use this upgrade facilities tool, and that will keep the that'll keep the recipe assigned. Essentially. Don't mind me as I upgrade all these sorters as well. Yes, sorters. B level 3. Excuse me. Thank goodness you've got this little button here that lets you upgrade from level 1 to level 3. It will also upgrade from level 2 to level 3. It's very, very convenient. I may need magnets. Yup. My poor little thingy ran out of ore. Whoops. That's a whoopsies. I want you to prioritize the input from here, because I do want to use this ore up. I absolutely want to use up that ore. I'm going to put an... Have I... Okay, I need to do an Interstellar station request for magnets, because I don't think I've done that. I have, okay. Okay, I actually have done that. Let me put down a planetary station. Because that's what I have room for right there. I'm gonna do... what exactly? I want to kill you. Delete. Destroy. Oh, there's a splitter there. I guess I destroyed that for nothing, because I deleted it because I was trying to make room for, guess what? A splitter. That was already there. Uh-huh. Yeah. Whoops. Command. I need more doohickeys. Yo. Give me doohickeys. I need those. Give me like 10 or 11 of you while I'm at it. You. Enjoy. Head on in there and, yeah, prioritize the bottom. But I do need glorious magnets. Do I need to upgrade? Yes, most likely. Ooh, there's a bit that's Mark 1. There you are. You need to be sure to click on in here as well, in each of the splitters, because there's like a unit of belt inside of splitters. I may be out of Mark 3 belt. Yeah. Hey, buddy. Give me my Mark 3 belt, thanks. I want all of it. And destroy that level 1 belt. Level 1 belt is unnecessary. Completely and utterly unnecessary. You're still at Mark 1 speed. What are you getting used for? There you go. Now we're cooking. You know what? Just go across the board and upgrade things. Upgrade everything. Unfortunately, it will only upgrade within your building range. That's the only slightly unfortunate thing. Get rid of all of the trash. That should speed things up a bit, as evidenced by the entire tower of the actual science processing functioning right now. Yeah, I think that's a little bit faster, huh? It's just a bit faster when you actually kill the bottleneck that was the blue science production. When you throw enough iron and copper at the problem. Although the copper's still only being made out of this. I want to make that clear. I've not needed more copper than this thus far in this part of the base. Now, what is it really being used for? Oh, fuel power, so I charge faster. It's being used in the main mall area. It's being used for the mall stuff, and it's being used for the science, and that's it, actually. It's not getting used for any of that stuff. Oh yeah, I removed the graphite production from here. Still don't have enough sulfuric acid for these. Gee, it's as if I would like to get to a sulfuric acid ocean for some free sulfur. Free sulfur sounds like a great thing to me. I would really like some free sulfur. Sulfuric acid, excuse me. Looking forward to the eventual potential mechanic of pipes added to this game, by the way. I don't think that the developers have ever... Well, they haven't talked about pipes to my knowledge. Outside of maybe saying that it might be on, like, an agenda somewhere, some longer-term plan. Problem is, I hit news and it just takes me to the front page. Gee, what a wonderful Steam summer sale. I have bought jack all. Because none of the sales are good. For the games that I don't already own. News, where's the link? View update history. Yes, let's take me to a brand new window. because that makes sense. The last update was on June 18th. Wonderful. I think that the next update that's going to happen is going to be for blueprinting. I think they're holding off for that blueprinting update. And that's my alarm to indicate that we are halfway through today's stream. Let's see, they said on June 19th that there was an update for the current progress on blueprinting, and I could have sworn I saw in here, it says, if everything goes well, the blueprint system will be presented to you within 30 days. So the goal on the development team right now is getting the blueprint system finished and out 30 days from the 19th of June, which is coming up within the next couple of weeks. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get blueprinting in the next couple of weeks, and it's not going to be such a big change that it requires you to start a new game, because that would suck. Ahem. That would not be pleasant, to say the least. Now, what's your problem? It's just now limited by the reds? Huh? Reds. But I'm making the reds. Actually, this is what it's supposed to look like, I think, because the reds operate at half the speed. Actually, the reds are 1 every 6 seconds. These process, I don't even know how fast. 60 hashes per second. What is a hash? How many hashes is a unit of science? Good question. How many hashes is a unit of science? Anyone? I don't know. What I know is that the game actually does tell you, if you go into the tech screen, the ETA on the finishing of the technology. Did you know that? Have you ever paid attention to this? Now I'm assuming that hashes is cubes. Let's just put it out as a cube is a hash. Maybe. Maybe? No, it's not, because we see that this technology is 108,000 hashes. So 600 matrices is 108,000 hashes. And yet 800 is 144,000 hashes. And 1,000 is 300. Or are these just completely decoupled from each other entirely? Probably. I'm thinking that they're completely decoupled from each other, and that the total hashes is just an arbitrary limiter to how quickly the cubes get consumed based off of the individual technology. So these 1,000 will be consumed more slowly because it's 300,000 hashes than these 800, because there's 144,000 hashes here. So this will be processing more quickly, consuming the matrices faster than this tech, because this tech has 300,000 hashes. I think that's what this is telling me. Is that it's 1,000 total units of cubes that'll be used for the technology total. The rate is going to depend upon how many hashes there are and how many hashes per second you can harvest in your science facilities. So the more science facilities that you have, the faster your hash rate, and thus the faster your cubes will be consumed, because your cubes will be consumed apparently at a linear rate over the course of the entire technology. So whatever the 144,000 hashes is divided by 800, that's how many cubes you're going to consume over that period of time, like the cubes per hash, right? Number of cubes per hash will change based on which technology you're looking at. It's weird. Yes, I agree. It's very, very weird. I don't know why it's been done this way. So weird, in fact, that I am taking the time to get the last of my coffee. Ugh. Anyway, it is break time. That's right, it's break time. I need to take a few minutes, get up, stretch the legs, do all of that. In the meantime, the game is going to run so that this science can hash away. I will be back shortly. And I have returned. Welcome back. So I happened to take my break at the exact moment that UPS has delivered my package. So, this is the new motherboard. And don't think I didn't notice that the lighting was such a way that it actually obscured the text on my package's label. Not like I really have anything to hide, but you never know. So, have I gotten the correct motherboard? That's a great question. Hello, Ollie. I have been joined by an Ollie who has an immense interest in the box. Of course, the cat wants the box. The cat wants the box, so hey, here, have a box. Go get it. Have fun. So what we got here is, yes, that's Ollie. Thank you for the musical interlude. This. The ROG Strix X570F gaming motherboard. That's the one. That's the one that I got. It has some Japanese written up there. In fact, it literally translates it. Japanese manual inside. That's actually literally what those characters right there. Those characters. The top says Japanese. The top is Japanese, and the bottom is manual inside. Manuaru. There you go. And it's just a sticker. I don't know why it's a sticker. Also, okay, so that is sealed. Thank God, it's sealed. It's sealed, and it's got stuff, I'm sure. We'll, thing. So, my keychain. This is my keys. Yes, it has dangles, but also I've got a convenient little... I mean, I guess we can call it a keyblade, right? It's a letter opener, but it's literally a key blade. Oh hey, Logistics Engine 3. We need Logistics Engine 4. So, there's that open. Maybe most boxes don't have that JP manual. I don't know why it has the JP manual. We have opened the box, and we are shiny. We are super shiny off of the bag with the motherboard in it. So that's there. Is it the actual correct motherboard inside of the box? That's a great question, because sometimes that can happen too. It is the X570F gaming. So that's good. Good. This is a lot smaller than my previous motherboard, though. Quote unquote, a lot smaller. So this is an ATX, a regular ATX motherboard. The one I have in my PC right now is an eATX motherboard. It's got extra PCI slots on the end of it. So that's part one of my orders done. I'm gonna close that tab completely. And there we go. Now, the one from Amazon with the CPU, the Ryzen 5800X, or whatever the heck it's called, that one is not out for delivery quite yet. Unfortunately, it has arrived at the quote-unquote carrier facility at Chesapeake. That's the destination facility that the actual truck will be loaded and will go out for delivery from. So fortunately, it's here. The first orders never made it here. So that's nice. I was particularly worried about this other package being shipped through Amazon because it went through Ashland, Virginia, sorting facility, or whatever fulfillment center it is. It went through there, and I know that my original 2 packages that were lost leaving the Ashland facility on their way to USPS, and USPS never received the items from the original orders. Order singular. The tracking still says that it's not at USPS, and it's just listed as having departed from Ashland, Virginia through Amazon early morning on the 26th of June. And then nada on those. So my thought is either the vehicle got into an accident or they were stolen in transit somehow. But you never know. So that's that. I have successfully stalled for a little bit of time as I wait for this tech to happen. What else shall I queue while I'm at it? Probably the ones to get into Casimir, the glass, titanium glass, the wave interference, the chips, and the gravity matrix. That sounds like a great idea. Not important whatsoever, because it's literally impossible. I mean, it's a lot of work, to say the least, to set yourself up to have the unipolar magnets in this phase of the game, right? It's a little bit hard to do that at that point in the game. Let's go ahead and get this vertical silo as well unlocked. That's actually the vast majority of the technological upgrades before the green techs, yeah? Like, that's most everything before the green techs happen. Maybe I will take the plane filter. There's all of this that will end up being the game beaten. But I have a whole ton of upgrades still. +2 construction drones sounds nice. I like construction drones. Construction drones are awesome. Why are you not moving? Okay, I'm now limited on my science by yellow cubes. What are the yellow cubes being limited by? The organic crystals, which are being limited by my amount of sulfuric acid, which is being limited by my amount of refined oil. Which is being limited by my ability to process said oil. And even if I could produce the sulfuric acid consistently, I only have 2 buildings producing sulfuric acid. Actually, no, this doesn't even use sulfuric acid for the crystals, does it? So it's exclusively... Oh, it's plastic limited. Okay, so that's a different problem entirely. It is exclusively a refined oil problem. Alright. We can solve the refined oil problem. That's the easy part. Oh yeah, that's the easy part. If I can only find where I'm processing this refined oil. It was down here. Okay. Are you operating at 100% capacity? Yes, you are. You are also draining hydrogen. You are not backing up on hydrogen, and you are producing more than enough energy. That sounds Fantastic. You are also not losing crude oil, which means ha 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 more. 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 Glorious. I need foundation. Oh, foundation. Up. Over. You. No. You. Foundation. Literally right next to me. Okay. Good to know. Destroy the land, the water. Kill the water. Destroy it. Get rid of it. I don't need it. I don't want it. Goodbye, water. Speaking of which, we are at 75.5% construction area now. I think we started the game around what? How much? What was the amount on this planet? Like in the 60% range? Somewhere? Yeah. We have a bit of a difference there now. Alright, are you operating is the question. Yes, you are operating. The next fundamental question will be... You know what, I'm gonna actually prioritize going downwards for the power. Gib power. Now. I demand energy until it's met. Bear in mind, worst comes to worst, I can just put down a particle collider and convert it to deuterium and shove the deuterium in the thermal plants afterwards. That'll use them up. I really just wish there was a way to just kill it, you know? To just kill the excess hydrogen. But that might not happen until pipes, maybe. But the thing, if they add pipes, is that they would need to completely redesign the oil buildings and the chemical plants. Like, fundamentally redesign them, right? Because you're not going to use sorters to move fluids. When they are actually treated as a fluid, right? Here they're like boxes of fluids, is the way that I look at it, or boxes of gases. If they were to try to introduce a pipe mechanic into this game, it requires a lot of fundamental changes in the mechanics, and yeah, I would absolutely say that if they ever do add it, it will be a completely game-breaking change, because they would need to replace several buildings with a different array, shall we say, of inputs. An entirely new style of input to accommodate the pipes. They would need actual pipe connections on the buildings, and those pipe connections would probably be the same footprint as the sorter connections, which means that they've fundamentally limited themselves with the pipes to being like the width of a conveyor belt or the size of a sorter, essentially. Right? Like, does that make sense? Like, there's not going to be massive pipes that are going to feed into these buildings. They're limited on the amount of diameter that the pipes can be because of that, without some fundamental redesign. At least on all of the entities that take in, like, fluid/gas stuffs. Alright, are we declining on our crude oil now? Because I'm okay with potentially, adding more crude oil into the system. I have stopped counting, by the way. I'm not counting these. I don't think that's a great idea to count these buildings. If memory serves, I did have like a thing like this, right? Where I have offset the thing. Did I build on a seam? No. Interesting how that's working. It's like, it looks like you can put a sorter here, like between these two, but no, these are considered adjacent to each other because it goes by belt section that they're on. Little funky. But if I had a tile gap between these, I would be able to do the exact same arrangement, offset by one here, and have them on both sides, even with dealing with 3 there. Oh my god, those memories are so sad and so bad, and I hate them. They are memories, to say the least. Do you remember when I built that arrangement by hand? Placing each individual sorter on all of the buildings? I remember doing that. It wasn't pleasant. And now it's trivial. I know it's slow. It's slow because of the yellow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this line, and I'm gonna plus, plus, plus. And then on this side, I'm gonna get rid of those sorters. I'm gonna offset 1. These sorters are fundamentally different. You go there. You are off putting that there, and you're putting that there. And then you can scale that way. Exactly like so. And because there's a gap of 1, I can put more power in. Oh, joy. What? Collide? Collide with what? No. Game, you're high. There we go. Stuff things. Now that looks pretty and is functional. I will say that. It's functional and it looks okay. with having the oil processing built each side, gap 1, sorters sorting in the very, very clean, minimal space use. Granted, you have this gap of 1 in between all of them, but bleh. Blech. Now they're operating fully. This should be decreasing. Yes, it had dang well better be decreasing after all of that added processing. Gear charge faster, actually. We can sort of take it. Here, go 9. There you go. That's good. We are producing a lot more refined oil. That produces more plastic. That gets this flowing again at a proper rate. Although note that this is fundamentally slower. This is that means I'm low on base power. Huh. Something's up. It's you not working at all. So this tells me that, like, a bunch, Huh? No, you are working. Oh boy. What? What got that demand so high? Excuse me. Game. Game. Why you say that not legal? That legal. It's legal. But you're legal though. I said you're legal. Okay, is that enough? Of course not. Huh? What is that key press doing? That is my comma. That is the comma. The comma. And it's something with the thermal power plant. Yeah. It's something with the thermal power plant. With the power thing. And it's based on where my mouse is? Oh, recipe copy. Okay. I understand now. Foundation. Yo, I need some foundation, bros. Up, over, you. Foundation. Destroy all water. Water is the enemy. You know, at some point, the throughput becomes an issue, right? Shouldn't it? It's not yet. But you'd think after so many of these that at some point there would be a throughput problem. Gee, I wonder if I can place another line just below. Or above. Can I do above? Is above legal? No. Above is not legal. Below... Below claims that it's not legal. To that I will have to disagree. We'll have to agree to disagree. However, it would help if I actually had the... Really? Well, fine then. I'll just do the extra spacing. Enjoy your extra spacing. It didn't actually copy the sorters. Oh my god, why? I can click on each building individually, and it will put those sorters in. Early access. This game is in early access. In case you were not aware. There you go. Enjoy the hydrogen fuel rods and the massive demand that I just placed on the hydrogen fuel rods. Sure, I will give you your own bros and keep you charged. That's met my current demands, although there's no telling how long that's gonna last. Charge! Go, go, go! Why this goes up to 60, I don't know. But, you know what? I'll keep it at 15. That's a bit more power. I should now be processing my oil. I have no more complaints from the game about the science being too slow. It will apparently take another 15 minutes. Oh gosh. 15 minutes. And it's consistent. It's not hopping up and down. So... Oh, it just went down. 120. Back to 180. I think this is limited by the yellows. And the yellows are limited by the oil. Now this is making graphene, yes? Yes, graphene. Graphene's always getting used. Let me limit you to 2,500. Just to make sure that we only bring in at the rate of consumption, right? Here's the oil. Okay, now we are limited by the oil production, which is a much better issue to solve because it's solvable. It's actually a solvable problem. Called just get more oil. Just tap into more oil. It's fine. And if you can stick it inside of existing infrastructure, then even better. Just go around, tap all the crude oil, or at least a couple more. Really? Hello. Hello, kitty. Hello, my Ollie. Yeah, that's my Ollie. What's that big box in the way? What's that big box in your way? What's that motherboard doing in the way of the kitty? Yeah, that's my boy. That's a pretty boy. Hey, those are teeth. That's your teeth. And tongue. Ah. Is that thing on its way yet? It's afternoon. Are you out for delivery yet? No? Hey, Amazon. You know what would be great? Is if your drivers were to actually send stuff out for delivery. Yeah, that'd be great. I've had them not go out for delivery until like 12:30 in the afternoon. Means it'll arrive really late, which is a bit on the unfortunate side. Okay, more oil. I know it's like a whole 5 more units, but when you consider that that's twice the amount of oil than was currently entering the system, the logistics network. Oh boy. Oh boy, that's all I have to really say about that. Ooh. Oh boy, hello. Even more. I like more. More is more. And more is awesome. Oh, how pretty. Yes, we are. We have made a bridge. We have made a bridge over top of chemical plants. That's actually too pretty. Give me a screenshot of that. Let's get that angle. There we go. Of the cargo pods. Oh goodness. Yes. Yes, pictures. This is a very, very pretty game for what it is. Surprising amount of effort went into making this look good and perform well. Like that's another great thing about this game, is it actually does have good performance at scale. And they've improved the performance over time. It's better than it was previously. They made it work better. And it's been a constant improvement. So down... Maybe? Where am I going? I don't even know at this point. I'm flying around my base, doing random things. Let's get to the yellow cubes again, just to have a look, because that is the limiting factor right now, is those yellow cubes. Like, the science isn't processing at all because of lack of yellow cubes. And when we get a delivery, we have stuff going. Now, only one building. Okay. Still a lack of organic crystals. Now, one thing I potentially could do is set up another planet in another system that has organic crystals. Mine them, put them in a box, and bring an entire inventory's worth of organic crystals back and shove them into here. I could do that to force this to happen, but consider that this tech will be done soon. Ahem. Soon. We now have all of the buildings, chem plants that are making it do the thing, except for you. Do we have the... We do have oil coming in, right? Yeah? You're bringing me oil, right? Here, charge faster? That'd be great. Charge faster. I said charge, dang you. It charges slower the further up it gets, by the way, just so you know. I don't know why they wanted to have this behavior, but it's there. The max charging power will only be max when it's near the bottom. You can actually see they give you the formula. What the hell? Huh. Actual charge power equals max times the percentage of current energy loss. That's not worded correctly. It is essentially it will only be at max charge rate when at 0 energy, is what that's trying to say. So it's the less you have stored, the faster you accumulate, basically. It'll only be 30 down here, and it will progressively get slower the higher the percentage is towards max. Down to some ideally threshold value at top end. But hey, we've got stuff. Are you slowed down by anything? No, in fact, you've actually fully accrued and backed up. Good. Good. You're backed up, you're making plastic as fast as you can make plastic. Now, the thing about the plastic is that it is getting siphoned off for other purposes in here. So I might want more of these. If I can get away with it. Bots, please place down all of that belt. Another unfortunate behavior that I wish that they update soon. Sorters will not get copied. Over belts that have not physically been placed yet. Even if you have the nodes down for the bots to build the belt, underneath the sorters, it will not actually place the ghost entity down, or whatever you want to call it, the node entity for the sorters, over belts that haven't been placed. It's unfortunate. I wish it wasn't like that, but that's the way it is. That's just the way it is. You need to be bigger and better and more awesomer. Awesomer. So that these can all operate. Yes, even you at the very end. I would like to be functional. Better yet, I would like this to be replaced with a priority splitter. Splitter. Prioritize that way. This will work out a heck of a lot better, in my opinion. There you go. Operate. Do stuff. And things. Give me yellow matrix cubes. Provide them here. Ship them out. Make the yellow cubes. And we'll be good. We will be glorious. Because I would like to leave this planet, this system, today. That is my goal. I want to leave this system today. And get myself somewhat set up elsewhere with something. Probably the first thing is gonna be organic crystals. I think that's gonna be my first item on the agenda, is organic crystals. I'm gonna need like 600 of you. Thereabouts. That's a lot of inventory spaces. Ahem. Ooh, look, I have 66 of those already. What's the stack size? 20! Okay, you go back in there now. Belt. I need more belt. Delete, delete. You know what? Get rid of some of these. Some of these mining machines. I don't need to carry as many of those. I will need Tesla towers. I put those on the bus. Did I not? Yes. I've got a bunch of these smelters. Yeah, I will want to grab, like, pumps and such. Pumps very specifically for the sulfuric acid ocean. Where am I going? This way. This way is the way. This way is a way. How many of these do I have on me? 3. Okay, I have 20 now. Give me a stack of you. Give me a topped off stack of you. Top off that stack. Give me that. Okay, get rid of these Mark II sorters. And give me a couple hundred more. Okay, what's... Is there anything noticeably missing? No. Nothing is noticeably missing. Okay. Now the question is, which star first? We have the booty system that has this stuff. We have Iota Sculptoris that has this stuff. I want to go here. Indicator. Now to try to remember... Oh, wait. Oh, I know. I know what I'm missing. Before I go anywhere. Ahem. I need fuel for my fuel chamber. So, please, for the love of God, tell me that I have fuel for my fuel chamber. Yes, I got booty. I have Alpha Bootus. The Bootius. Alpha Bootus. The Booties. Alpha Booties. It exists. It is a star. And if I go and colonize it, I will rename it. Oh boy, so I want to make sure that I'm going fast. Because last I remember, there is conservation of momentum in this game. So if I'm going at 2,000 sail speed when I enter warp, I'll be at 2,000 sail speed when I leave warp. And it's the caps lock button to warp. Unfortunately, I may not have enough stuff in me to make it all the way in one go. And I will leave warp. Yeah. So now we have to wait for my thingy to refill. But you can see I maintained my velocity of 2,000 AU, or 2,000 meters per second. Why the hell is this meters per second? Can I just point out that 2,000 meters per second is 2 kilometers per second? Is not all that fast on at a solar system scale. That's a little slow from a solar system perspective, right? Shouldn't that be like in KMS? Shouldn't that be KMS, not MS? Kilometers a second? Like, I'm thinking they're off by a factor of, you know, a whole 1,000. Right? Like, I'm pretty sure they're off by 1,000 there. So this is going to take a little bit to recharge my fuel chamber. I mean, we'll get there in 45 minutes. Because you can absolutely just manually fly without warping in this game. Right? We can... Oh! The technology has occurred. Okay. Now we don't have to worry. Now we can go out, set this up, and we can actually start requesting things from my main planet, my main system. However, I have not yet set up the warpers to all of the things on my home base, and throughput will be extremely low at the start, and based exclusively on warper availability until I chew through the techs to unlock the green matrix cubes. It's only at green matrix cubes will I be able to make infinity warpers, pretty much. Make sufficient numbers of warpers to expand and grow across the rest of these star systems. Now, one thing I want to make clear is that we have a technology that shows us the resources of systems within 6 light years. That's within 6 light years of us. So I'm at least I think it's of us. Is it of us or is it of our home system? Because that's a very key difference there. This is within 6 light years. Cough, cough, quote unquote, within 6 light years. Okay. So, I was able to look at this system previously. I apparently still can. Alright. Satatoni was a system that I was able to see before. I cannot see it now. So that radius of 6 light years is around you and not around your home planet system. Meaning that I can now look at Kifa Borealis and see that they've got organic crystals there. I can look at Denabola and see that it is absolute garbage. And I can look at all the systems that are around Iota Sculptoris as I get to it. I actually, if that black hole is within 6 of Iota Sculptoris, I'll be able to see the resources at the black hole, of which there should absolutely be unipolar magnets there. So just things to keep in mind. Alright, we are within many astronomical units of our goal. I can see thingies. We'll wait until that hits like 1 AU. Alright, we are within 1 AU of Iota Sculptoris 2, which is the planet with organic crystals. Or a planet with organic crystals. Hurrah! Huzzah! We've arrived. Welcome to a prairie planet that has organic crystals. It is unfortunately 7 light years away. That sucks for that black hole. Okay, volcanic ash on Iota Sculptoris 1 has the sulfuric acid ocean. And Iota Sculptoris 3 has fire ice. And that's it. Okay. So I'm not as concerned about Iota Sculptoris 3. However, fire ice is graphene! At the unfortunate consequence of also providing a lot of hydrogen. So it's the exact same thing as previously on the oil processing setups, where you have to deal with the excess hydrogen. Here it's primarily going to be, we're going to get power out of the hydrogen through the fire ice processing. And that hydrogen will basically power our fire ice processing in a neat little setup. This planet has 22 million iron. But really the only thing special here is the sulfuric acid ocean. Do you have any abundance of a resource? Titanium. That's okay. And what about this prairie planet? Outside of the 6 million organic crystals and 2 million spiniform stalagmite crystals. Ooh boy. Ooh boy. That's a really good thing to see. And that's a lot of oil. So you're saying this system has oil, and sulfuric acid, and organic crystals. graphene. And graphene tubes. Huh. That's pretty nice. And 16.5 million coal. And like 7 million silicon here on this world. I want to always show the labels, please. So, this system will be named after a supporter because I am about to tap into it. So, let me bring up my patron list at the start here. So this one is, let's go with who? This one will be Tom Dubliner. Excuse me, but that is caps lock on. Oh joy. So the actual star system itself will be named after the patron. And I think what I'll do here is I'll have the star system be a patron, and then we'll think about if we want the individual planets to be named after perhaps members of the channel. Maybe? We shall see. We shall see. Or I'll just leave it like this. We'll tap into a whole bunch of stuff over time, and then we'll go through the whole name list. Because really I want to make sure that I get everyone who is supporting me have something, right? Well, so we have a few. We have Ice Pick, we have Nicolazy, we have Johnny Madison, we have Kevin Chiosu, we have Wolfie, we of course have Ave as a member, and several other members, Vicky, etc., etc., etc. We have a member at the boastful level who will also get a star named after them at least. So, I don't know, I am slightly undecided on the planet names themselves. If we should make the planets the lower tiered members, the erudite members of the channel. Because all the stuff is happening on the planets, right? Not the stars. All the good stuff is happening on the planets. Alright, where is a pole? Oh gosh, looks like we've got... So this world has rivers. And lakes. And a lot of construction area, which makes me very, very, very happy. However, the South Pole is water, and the North Pole is clear. Okay. And there's organic crystal veins absolutely everywhere. It makes me so very happy. Is there an organic crystal vein near the North Pole? Absolutely not. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Because I want an interstellar logistics station on the North Pole. Because it's cool. You will need warpers. A small amount. 200, I think, is the carrying capacity, so... Remote demand, local supply is fine. This is just the thing which has my warpers. And there's the warper counter. I will be putting these in. I will be putting these in. It will only move when I have stuff. This is going to be taking in organic crystals, remote supply, local demand, most likely. I'm going to need power. What is the power situation on this planet? We get 110% wind and 76% solar. We also have a lot of coal. So here I am bringing a whole bunch of solar panels. Very few wind turbines. And only 20 thermal plants. Okay. Coal vein. Where's the closest coal vein? Right there? Literally near the equator? There's one. Closer. So fortunately there is a fire ice producing planet here that will give me a lot of spare hydrogen. There's also the refined oil that can give me a whole bunch of hydrogen out of all the oil seeps and such. Why did I land at this oil? The coal is there. So our first thing is that I need power, and the power is going to come from energetic graphite. Thrown into the thingies. Into the thingies, yes, very specific of me. Can't really get the density coverage that I'm looking for. Oh, come on, there's like 1 pixel right there. Can't really get the extra thingy that I wanted because of that water. There's one more I can put in here. Please God, cover more than 3. 5 is fine. Okay, on an east-west. Looks like my warpers have arrived. We'll go that way. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure this game has unique music depending on the type of planet you're on. So, this, I think, is a music track that has not played yet, since this is our first prairie planet. There are planetary unique sound music tracks, which is another very neat detail. Very, very nice detail. Alright, I need smelters. Smelting. Do these smelters smelt at 1 per second? Yes. Yes, it will make half as much of the output. I know this thing. This very key detail. Casimir crystals, huzzah! Whoops. I didn't wait until I completely finished with all the placing of the belt, and therefore, I didn't actually paste down those sorters. Game just says no. That misses something, doesn't it? No, no it does not. Okay. Now we need to make it move a little bit. At least a little bit. So, I'm going to put down my 8 turbines. It's 5, 6, 7. Oh, come on! 8 turbines. This will get it to move. It won't produce enough to satisfy everything, but that's okay. Because I will have a whole bunch of these. Now. These are going to be plopped here, most likely. I need to make sure that that spacing is conducive to putting down a sorter between and that it copies. Okay. I could do the math here. So these are always going to consume the full amount of the energetic graphite, even though it produces less. So, even though it produces 2.6 megawatts each, it's going to consume the whole 6.75 megajoules from this. So, each one is pulling... What's the rate on here? Is it 2.8? I apparently have placed all of them? No, 6. 2.16 divided by 0.8. 2.7. Okay. So it's using 2.7 megajoules each from these energetic graphites. I'm making 15. Okay, so I have 15 per second times times 6.75. So that's 101.25 megawatts. We then divide that by 2.7, and that's 37.5. 37.5 is how many thermal power plants my production of energetic graphite can sustain. I have 20. So I have enough production. Now, these 20 will only produce 20 times 2.16. Or 43.2 megawatts of power in the end. If I had the 37.5 times 2.16, it would produce 81 megawatts. Of course, you can't have a 0.5 of a building, so it'll be an extra building to accommodate that. Now I have energy. N amount, 45.8. Well, wouldn't you know? That is including the 8 wind turbines. Which the wind turbines are more effective here by 10%. Now, I know I'm using this guy, knowing full well that this guy uses energy to operate 90 whole kilowatts. I just want to bring it all the way up to that. That is the goal. Is to provide power. Am I able to do that right there? Yep. Provide power to this guy. This glorious monstrosity. Limit it to 30, which is all of my power. Gee, thanks. It will charge at 30 for a while until it, gets past whatever threshold on its charging power, and then it'll start to decline. More it's full, less its charge rate is. Now let's find a organic crystal to tap into. Aren't you supposed to have a spiniform as well? Where's the spiniform? Where's that spiniform? There you are. Right there. One patch of the spiniform stalagmite crystals. Now, spiniform stalagmite crystals, if I'm not mistaken, are for these. For the carbon nanotubes. They're these. And it is a 1-to-1, which is very nice. It's very nice. Very, 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 very nice, because it saves you from having to make graphene and spend titanium on these. It is well worth it to convert it 1-to-1. So that 2 million stalagmite crystals is 2 million graphene rolls. Or tubes. Nanotubes. Carbon nanotubes, whatever. I call them graphene rolls, because that's what they are. They are literal, rolled up graphene. So, let's not go and tap into that one quite yet, because my power is here. Oops. Uh-oh. I think something just broke. I just heard a noise from beyond. Why is there no crystals on the northern hemisphere? My goodness, there's one. Let's go this way. Oof. Oof. That's annoying. Let's be a little careful as to how much stuff I have going on here. Yay, high strength glass. Go, go, go. This is a very thick patch. I can get a whole bunch of coverage here. This is like one of the most overpowered of the rare resources. In case you were not aware, being able to just directly mine like this is rather obscene. Because you save the entirety of the power of charging, of making these crystals. Like, all of that power saved. Not necessary. Okay, now what is the best way of getting power here? Probably just the extendo dudes. Right near the equator. Success. Now we'll put a planetary logistics here. Tell it to supply these crystals. Organic crystals, there you are. And shove them in. Give it some power. Give it the doohickeys. Just to keep transiting them. Now these will transit to here. And provide them remote supply. And that's it. We're done. We're done with this initial setup here. Yeah, I brought a lot of stuff with me. I think I'm gonna put a box down near the North Pole, as long as I don't forget about the stuff that's here. That I'll use as I expand over here, probably off screen. A weekend to-do list, I suppose. You know, I want to actually keep the rest of the stuff on me. I did want to have these here. You know what? I'll keep the rest of the stuff in my inventory. Gosh, I hope I have enough power to get back home. Okay, over here. I need to go home at this point. Because I need to put in a request at home for the organic crystals. Ba-doing. Now, I hope that I have enough energy to make it back home in one go. I know this place is pretty distant from my current amount of internal fuel, but it would be nice if we could at least get back home in one go. Looks like if I warp at max, I would be okay, but as it stands, it's big ol' nope. That's within 3 AU. So I don't need to use the warp drive again. I just need to speed up. The HEA is 4 minutes, but we will just accrue energy, speed up with that energy, and reduce the time that way. It'll probably be like 2 minutes, a minute. Which does tell me that if I engage my warp at a full tank of gas, essentially, that I will be able to make it there in one warp. It means I won't be moving very fast when I get there, but I'll be able to get close enough that I don't have to warp twice, which is the biggest concern. And I think when I place this request, that's going to be the last thing I do, placing this request for the organic crystals, which is going to massively increase my amount of science that I'll be able to produce. Of the yellow science, that is. As I'm taking a tech that doesn't use any yellow science whatsoever. Cough, cough. Let's go. Less than 30 seconds. Well, I say less than 30 seconds. Now it's technically realistically less than 30 seconds to get home. Just another AU to go. An AU being the distance from the sun to the earth. I would guess on average. Because, you know, slightly elliptical orbit and all that jazz. And let's not miss the planet. That would be great, too. There we go. Huzzah, we're here. Alright, where's the one that is making the warpers and providing the warpers? Is it you? Yes. You are going to be remote demanding organic crystals. Congratulations. Thank you for the remote demand and the local supply on the organic crystals, and that is where I'm going to wrap it up for the day, folks. So what did we do today? We have gone interstellar and tapped into our first planet on another star system in this cluster. And we have the warpers, and we have We have our trusty logistics vessels traveling back and forth between Tom Dubliner and here as I tap into the organic crystals over there. I will be doing a lot of scaling off stream, of course, at least some degree of scaling off stream. I'm a little bit undecided as to whether or not I want to tap into these spiniforms or the fire ice off screen. I don't think I will because we haven't seen it yet. Those are processes we haven't seen yet. There's also that sulfuric acid ocean, and that is simple. I will probably tap into that sulfuric acid ocean off screen as another means of killing bottlenecks and all of that. Because that one is... You've seen water? You've seen me place a pump on water? It's the exact same thing, except that the water is sulfuric acid instead of water. That's the only difference. And I'll show it in the next stream anyway. With that, folks, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Taku Show, but if you've enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff below the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you've not yet subscribed, and hit the notification bell. Consider becoming a member of the channel by hitting the great big blue join button, and, of course, supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushow. But if you're so inclined and able, I will be back with more Dyson Sphere Program on Monday, and more of the Factorio C-Block playthrough on Tuesday and Thursday. I will, of course, see you all on the next one.